you ain't black, and you ain't black. And you ain't black, and you ain't black. I'm going to be Joe Biden.
If I learned about roaches, I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap.
You know the thing, know the thing. Know the thing, know the thing.
All right. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight we're going to be talking about all of the latest news, and hopefully we'll stay on this time. We'll be right back with the only live call-in show somewhere.
I'm going to be Joe Biden. I'm going to be Joe Biden. Black. I'm going to be Joe Biden.
All right. What is going on, guys? My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We're going to be going over a lot of different things tonight, but just first off, let me get out of the way. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, I also want to remind you guys, you do not have to depend on anyone else for notifications. You can come straight to us. In fact, you can go to marfooglenews.com and get the notifications straight from us. You can click the bell on marfooglenews.com. You can also sign up for email alerts, or you will click that white box that says, Marfoogle News would like to send you notifications. Those are direct push notifications, so you can get our notification and not worry about getting a week late notification from the tube. Either way, let's get started. It has been an absolute crazy week here. As many of you guys know, we tried to go live before. It is happening above and beyond any of our control. We have dealt with Comcast and Xfinity for 2 days, which is an absolute nightmare if anyone has ever dealt with them. In fact, if you have internet, if you've ever had to call them, they're standard now because of CV is to, and maybe this is something that happens all year round and before CV, they restart your modem and you can't even talk to a human being until they restart your modem, and then they say it takes 10 minutes, and then they say we'll call you back afterwards. Well, then they never called me back, so I at least did that 6 or 7 times and it reset my modem to no fix. Then I ended up having to speak with human beings for 3 or 4 hours. Then they finally said, go down to the place in person. I picked up a new modem, the newest, fanciest high-speed modem that handles gigabit plus speeds and everything else. And that did absolutely nothing for the problem. So obviously it's a technician issue, which we just had a technician out here last week. It was an absolute nightmare. I do want to thank the few now. There's at least 2 verified Comcast employees that have reached out, and they not only one, they wanted to represent hey, I work for a good company and I want to help you out. But 2, they wanted the show back just as much as everybody else. So they were trying to offer their help, and one of them we actually sent some of the diagnostics to. So thank you guys. If you've never been here before, what we're going to end up doing is going over all of the news. We actually have it listed on our website. We actually make a bibliography of sorts, so you can actually read everything that we have here. If we have tweets, if we have videos, anything that we have is going to be on that website bibliography, so you can actually see it. In fact, you go to the website, you'll see that we have all of the sources as well, so you won't be guessing where we got this information from. If we do say something that is not on something that is verified, then we make sure to clarify. So if you want to support this show, we really need it right now. We are trying to basically rebuild a forum for all of the people. We had a Discord of 15,000 people in different state groups. We helped people group up and get ready for natural disasters and unnatural disasters, and that was taken down because of a very small percentage of military personnel in that group, which of course they are taking down any kind of military group on Discord right now because of the current events. Pretty crazy if you ask me. We are actually not, we're a very neutral source, as neutral as we possibly can be without not having an opinion. I guess if that makes any sense. On the right side of every website, which is actually organized by thumbnail, you'll see all of our different affiliates. If you go there, you can actually support or get one of the protection products. Again, Nord, a protection product, EMP, a protection product, smart meter covers, that's a protection product. And then Earthing is a health product. And then, of course, you have... and then you also have masks, which are protection. Somebody gave us crap for selling masks, and I guess my aunt saw it on a Facebook page, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, on the fan page or something that they're saying that I sold out because I'm selling masks." One, the president said it was patriotic, so we felt like we could. But two, everyone is required to wear them. And if at the same time, if you are going to be representing a mask, at least be sharing the fam. Like literally you're going to be going everywhere. People are going to see that mask. They're going to come here and they're going to understand. It's actually spreading truth every time somebody wears one of those masks out, because then they go, well, what is that? And then they end up Googling it. You can just say Google Marfoogle and then boom, you get us. So we thought it basically checked multiple boxes. Yes, we need financial support because we are trying to grow. We are not a multi-billion-dollar agency that has elites backing us up. And that's why we probably will be taken down at some point. That's why we're probably having issues right now. We had to separate everything from anything related to me. Ever since the show we did on Israeli News Live, it was like, boom. Everything has just been totally screwed up. Again, we did all of the back and forth, all of the tech stuff. It doesn't seem like it's a problem here. So even then, one of the Comcast people that reached out in the fam said, we don't throttle speeds. I'm not saying you guys did. I'm saying somebody above you, maybe. I don't know. So now we are doing a very janky setup. So if it does die, I apologize, but it looks like it's already better than it was. Dex, let's introduce Dex. Dex is my co-host. He's also going to be screening calls. I encourage you to call right away. We're going to actually cut today's show up with calls. So after the first 3 articles, we're going to bring that in. We're going to hit the 3 articles that we already hit, but we're going to go through them much faster while still getting across that point, because we're going to end up deleting the other video. Dex, can you do a sound check for me, and can you tell me what is going on here?
Hello, Adam. I'm here. Hello, Foogle fam again, and looks like the stream's doing pretty good right now.
Yeah. We're doing a hotspot, which we had to actually receive from somebody because mine wasn't working, and it's just a whole mess. So anyways, we're up and we're running. So far, so good. I won't speak too soon. And then Dex, as far as everything we've gone through over the last 2 days, probably something no one would ever want to go through ever in their life, probably.
Oh, I can affirm that. It's been pretty torturous.
We've been doing ping tests for like 2 days straight. Anyways, okay, so let's get into it. What we are saying, and we're trying to stay as neutral as possible, and we're trying to share you information without heavily persuading you one way or the other. That's what news should be. But again, my opinion does slip out sometimes. My views on it do slip out. And again, I've heard people say, you can't do anything without an opinion, but you can do it while sharing both sides of the story. That's how I feel about it. But again, this is a big deal. So what you have here is you've got major tensions with China, which is advertised as such, right? Mainstream media is talking about that we are bumping heads with China. So naturally, a lot of people, especially our friends here, they think that it's all part of the show. I don't think they're showing us everything. In fact, I think that there is a lot more to show than what is going on right now. I think there is sabotage behind the scenes. I think that there is spying. I think that there is plans. I think that they are planning something more massive than anyone knows. I also think that they know about stuff that we don't, things that will affect every single person on this planet, and they are not telling us. It's kind of the obvious because that's what's happened since we've had a government. They don't tell us everything. Again, this was 2 U.S. bases in Japan are under lockdown with dozens of new infections as more soldiers in South Korea also test positive for CV. It says the U.S. announced plans Wednesday to shift 12,000 troops out of Germany as part of a multi-billion-dollar effort to deter Russian influence and reassure European allies in the region. Now, Dex, I don't know if you think this, but one thing about this, as far as, T-Man said that they haven't paid their dues, so we're pulling these troops out. He said that to the public press, right? Otherwise, this is almost trying to make it look like because of CV, they're moving troops. Is that what I'm getting? Isn't that kind of like how they put the first paragraph there? But that's
they definitely framed it that way, and definitely casted that shadow. There's lots of variables here that go into, what we may or may not be doing and why we're doing it. There's been speculation about, whether or not we're getting paid correctly, or is this really about getting troops out of harm's way, or are we trying to de-escalate things? I don't know.
Again, it just seems weird that they are framing everything like that is the reason why, when clearly there's either money issues there somewhere or there's something else going on. So we'll see with this. As far as that goes, you can read the rest of this article on marfooglenews.com. Then you have Ryan, and I say words differently sometimes. Again, we have about 3,000 new viewers to this channel, so if we do say something, it is because we're not fighting humans, we're fighting algorithms. It says that Ryan fires ballistic missiles from underground for the first time. It says Ryan's elite Revolutionary Guards fired ballistic missiles from underground for the first time as part of an annual military drill. Amirali Hazazada, if I say that wrong, I'm sorry, the head of the aerospace division of the Guards, said in a video posted online by YJC, a news agency linked to their actual state TV. So who knows if that is biased or in any way kind of bluffing or puffing their chest, because it is a state-run television. It says the military drill in the Gulf, which began on Tuesday, comes at a time of high tension between Tehran and Washington. So again, we are fighting with them, and so is everybody else. You've got I facing off in many different ways. I think they are already at conflict right now. They, of course, have been, accidentally booming each other for weeks now, months, years, whatever. And they always kind of step back and they say it was an accident, or they say it was an active self-defense, or this or that. When really it's that, the handlers are saying you can't go big with this yet. I think that, of course, it's a proxy conflict. So it's us backing one side and then it's them backing the other. And you've got them basically throwing in orders to knock out people under the guise that it was an accident for this or that side. Well, now it's pretty clear. And I think that anybody who's watched this show for a long time will see we've shown you the proof that they are totally gearing up for something massive. People say, well, why hasn't it happened yet? We're talking about plans by the smartest people in this world, the smartest scientists, the smartest researchers, the smartest heads of state. Everybody is coming together to plan one of the most massive changeovers. We're part of it. We're in the middle of it right now. All of this stuff that's going on around us is all, in my opinion, part of a plan. So it's kind of like, yeah, it takes time. If you are moving thousands of people, or if you are trying to get the masses to do something, you have to you can't just physically corral them because of how we've evolved. You have to mentally and physically corral them. You have to do things in a certain way. And in fact, if you do it in a certain way, people will voluntarily run across into the corral. It's like kind of like if there was a sheepdog for 20 years and after 20 years, the sheep are so used to going from one place to the next, the sheepdog dies and they just keep going. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but that's kind of how it feels. And then you've got, of course, India uses the arrival of its new jets to basically warn China. They've got the Rafale jets. They're pretty fancy. And I don't think China is personally scared of it, but, you know, they do this kind of puff their chest stuff all of the time. And then you've got India to deploy 35,000. Now, that's actually a big number. Troops along China border amid disengagement talks. Now, are they moving it there because there's something bigger going on? Do we have multiple countries moving around troops? That's what some think. In fact, we are moving 12,000 here, 12,000 there. 15,000 in one place. So what is going on with all of the troop movement? Could they hide major troop movement in plain sight? Well, yes. In fact, if they told all their soldiers, oh, you're part of a brigade of about 3,000 being shipped out, when really it's, 300,000, what they tell home to mom or to their wives is, yeah, I'm part of 3,000. They tell the news 3,000. Everybody thinks that they're in a group of 3,000. In fact, you could tell 300,000 soldiers that you're part of 3,000 soldiers going somewhere, and no one would ever know the difference because it's all compartmentalized. They could literally move 500,000 people, and some say, oh, you would totally know that. How? You're talking about military flights. You could see the flights, but if they turn off their transponders or things like this, they could totally do it without, raising any alarms, I guess you could say. They could move them via Navy ships. They could move them however. They've also done drills in the last 2 years, which I've covered each and every one of them. It's the little stuff that actually does get kind of put out in public that you have to kind of add up over time. That's why we do the bibliography, so you can say, oh my gosh, he said this on that show. You can go 6 months back and you can actually go to an article and it's archived on every single show. So if we do a show like tonight that has a subject in it, you can remember, go back to the thumbnail and then go back to that article. We think it's useful, so I hope you use it. Either way, if you guys want to help support us, especially right now, we are trying to make everything better, including our systems. You guys can actually protect yourself with an EMP Shield. This company is actually working with military bases. They've worked with DHS, DOD, and they are now on the DEMSO team officially helping protect the Texas grid. EMP Shield is now Keystone military tested. It's 100% American made. It's a veteran-owned business. And again, it can protect you against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3, and coronal mass ejections or solar flare up to 228,000 amps. Again, we have a ton of Foogle family members that already have this either installed in their car, their house, or on their solar system that can tell you how awesome and easy they are. Again, the generator, the car, and the house, those three are kind of the trifecta. If you have a solar system, what good is it if it dies? So again, you can protect all of those. They even have a device for a ham radio. So you can't obviously put your entire house in a Faraday cage. So protect it with an EMP Shield. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate it because, again, I think that if everyone had this, we wouldn't have a problem in the first place if it does happen. Dex, do we have a caller? Again, it's 2244-00-MARF if you would like to call in.
Yes, Adam, we do. You want me to go ahead and get the caller lined up?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So first up, we have Yenzer Prepper. Yenzer Prepper, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Yenzer, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Adam. Hey, it's going. I've just been listening to you guys, and I've been connecting dots, just taking notes, connecting dots, looking at the bigger picture. I have concluded that before November, I'm almost certain that we are going to have company, if you're catching my drift.
And you can say invasion. You think
I can? Okay.
You think we'll be invaded?
Just trying to keep on the down low.
No. Thank you for being careful.
It's from across the pond, if you catch my drift, from people who own companies over here.
Now, why do you say that? Because you do have a reason here, and it relates to the drones and kind of what's been happening with the backdoor situation. They've put backdoors on a lot of different things. How did you put this kind of two and two together? Tell me how you got there.
Well, I was in the Army for 2 years. I'm honorable discharge.
Fair enough.
Different story. But anytime we would do field training exercises, we would map our areas, our AOs, before we would go in. And we would set up. It would be a few hours. Any military
and
would understand that.
By AO is by area of operation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. That's, yeah, you can pay for it, but why pay for it when people are doing it for you for nothing? You see what I'm saying? And it's not just little areas here and there, everywhere.
And by, you mean...
You see what I'm saying?
By surveying, you mean the drones, like DJI drones and things like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there are backdoors, which, I mean, news articles, I've watched on your show that there are news articles across it.
Well, can I add to this? So TikTok has been banned in India and other countries, and for good reason. So it ties back to China, and it ties back, and what they say, what their reasoning is that it is a security issue. If you can see, even if you go walk down a major street in a major city now, you'll see people doing TikToks. They set up their phone against a wall, and they start dancing, and they start doing things. But one thing they don't realize is that behind them, they're actually filming everything around them. It's not so much when you have one person, but when you have millions and millions of people in this country videotaping everything, and all of that film is like one giant matrix. They can go, I want to see this area, and go to any user using it. They can basically see what's going on. It's kind of a scary thought, huh?
Yeah, it's terrifying, as a matter of fact. Anyone, I mean, none of my close friends, I have groups, everything else that I'm attached to. We don't use that just because we know what kind of security it's going to violate.
Gotcha. Well, they also did the thing with Huawei, or however you want to say it. Again, some people say that the public reasons are only to add on to a lot of other things as well. Like, these were literal backdoors into people's information that were buying them in the United States. There's other devices, security cameras, a huge percent. In fact, Dex, one show, I think you looked up the actual percentage of cameras that were made in China, security cameras with their own proprietary software, which means if they are wirelessly transmitted, that means China could actually access those through their own software.
Yeah, they actually came out. It was in the news about a year and a half ago that there were these massive backdoors in the back of Daewoo and some other very large camera manufacturers that, if you go into Costco or Sam's and you look at all the business cameras in the front section there that you can set up in your little, your store, all of those are on the same platform. They're all built pretty much by the same 2 or 3 companies that are out of China. And so pretty much every surveillance camera that we have out here, unless it's American made, potentially has that back door in it. The other thing that was interesting that Yenzer Prepper's talking about here with the drones, not just the ones that we happen to be flying for pleasure or for our own, use, but we saw all the drones in Colorado, right, that were unexplained. Why were they mapping that area? And then just recently, they said that the Palo Verde nuclear plant, which is one of the largest nuclear plants, it came out and they said that they had swarms of drones on it twice. This came out in a FOIA that in less than a year, I think it was maybe September or October last year, they had 2 different incidences where drones had swarmed into that location.
And obviously, this is a bigger deal than they're putting out. Well, again, Yenzer Prepper, thank you. This is your first time call. Don't make it your last. I appreciate your view, calling from Pennsylvania. Yenzer, is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Yes, actually. I'm calling on all patriots to just stand your ground. Don't manipulate, and don't let yourself manipulate be manipulated by submission. That's all I have to say. If anyone's a true patriot, Constitution, just don't let yourself be manipulated. That's all. Everyone, Foogle fam, patriots, 3%ers, stand up, stand your ground. I will be there. Anyone else who supports that, we will be there.
Well, thank you. Yinzer Prepper. Great point to leave out on. Again, I think a lot of people are kind of to the point where they're going to stand up at some point. Let's see here. So we're going to get back into another section of news. So let's go over to this. We're going to actually open up. If you guys do want to call in, remember the number is 224-400-MARF. Real quick, I do want to say thank you. Manders says, thank you for all you do, Marf and Dex. GB the fam. God bless the fam. Kahaja Flygirl says, TikTok challenges are info gathering with Fitbit. Yeah, I know there's a lot of them that are teaming up and doing, doubles. I mean, everything out there is gathering information. Even those face apps, which people already put my picture into the app, so it was kind of pointless. Somebody look at the face replace kind of apps that are coming out. They put Elon Musk's face on, 6ix9ine Tekashi or whatever, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Then because they already did it, I ended up using that same photo that somebody put, and I ended up using it. You can literally put your face on somebody else. If they're a celebrity, doesn't matter. The algorithms are so good right now that it can make a realistic video of you. It's absolutely scary. But those same apps are taking that information and they are taking it back to whatever countries they're coming from. Russia and FaceApp, same thing. They were accused of basically taking that photo and owning it forever. They could use it on the side of a bus if they wanted to. This was literally the conflict around it, because that FaceApp, when you take a picture, say you take a picture and you're very beautiful, they could literally use that photo and put it into a Russian state funded advertisement if they wanted to. They own it forever. So scary stuff. Manders, I appreciate that again. Thank you. And thank you, Gone Girl, for the Ninja Guinea that you rolled up in. I appreciate that as well. The Messiah 317, thank you. Jilly J, thank you for being here. Geisy, Dixie Doe, T. Bori, Ollie Pop, Deuce Bag, and of course Vitvarg. Thank you for all of the purple Marfia badges. You guys are awesome. Hazmat and Mandy. Lots of new names tonight, so thank you guys for all following. Dwayne Walks, thank you for following. Amy Shirk, Tom DeLuce. If you do subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. I'm glad that things are at least running a little bit better. Dex, let me know if anything is too screwed up, and then we'll get back to that. Veronica Paleo, thank you for super chatting. You can always write a message with that over on YouTube. Amanda Kelly, sounds like your lines are tapped and they are spying on you. Possibly said something that got their attention. And then Haunted Doll, I appreciate your support again. Looks like I cannot see anything on this show, so Dex, if there is something, make sure to call it out. And then back to the news, we've got some real funky stuff here. So taller people, again, it doesn't matter what you have. I think if there's going to be studies that say if you have more moles, then you will be at higher risk. But it says taller people face a higher risk of catching CV, survey says. That's right. Because warm air goes up, of course. Now, this isn't the official reason, but I'm guessing right now. Because if you breathe hot air, if you're closer to the ceiling, that air goes up, right? Maybe. This is literally a survey that they literally spent money on. People over 6 feet tall are more than twice as likely to be diagnosed with the CV, the results of a new survey reveal. The global team of researchers, including experts from the University of Manchester and Open University, surveyed 2,000 people in the country, as well as in the U.S., to determine whether their personal attributes, work, and living practices might play a role into transmission. So it ended up finding that taller people are at a higher risk, researchers say, suggests that the contagion is spreading through the air. It says because height would not be a factor if the virus was only contractable through droplets, according to the report. Do you see what they're saying, Dex? They're basically adding in that this is airborne, or it's becoming airborne. That's kind of what I'm picking up here, because it's not only through droplets or coughs, it's through the air. So that's kind of a big deal.
6 foot mark.
I'm sorry, what was that, Dex?
Yeah, I was just saying I'm glad I'm under the 6 foot mark. I've never, I always wanted to be 6 feet tall, but I'm just below, so I guess I'm okay.
Unfortunately, I'm 6'1.5", so I've got 1.5 inches of dying body here. So getting kind of scared. Good thing I'll shrink. The older I get, the lower risk I'll have. So that's one good thing. But do you realize how they're kind of introducing that it's going to be airborne? I wonder if it's going to mutate, according to them. Mutate into something that is just full-on airborne, something that it doesn't matter if you cough, if you just breathe in around somebody, I guess.
I think we're probably best to prepare for the worst and expect it to, at the way things are going this year. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2020. Godzilla has now destroyed New York. Oh, wait, no, that's a article for the future. Twitter penalizes DT Jr. for posting the Queen misinformation amid CV pandemic. So what DT Jr. did is he posted about this stuff, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. The hydro queen. That's what we're going to call it, the Hydro Queen. And they ended up boxing him up and suspending him, or what was the actual
Yeah, he got a suspension. It was a short-term suspension. Yeah, he posted a video. He didn't make any claims in it. He just retweeted, I believe, or posted a video of the doctors that were on they were in DC and they were doing a presentation. And part of the presentation of those doctors was about the High Queen there, and
the High Queen.
Yeah, and their claims and whatnot. And so because of that, he got suspended.
And remember, the doctors that made those claims, that was banned, and even the president mentioned it. Tons and tons of Twitter users. I mean, we're talking millions.
And his
talked about
tweet
it.
was taken down. That was one of the first tweets of the president that was actually taken down. It wasn't really his tweet. It was a retweet, but yes, it was taken down. Not
only that, and we'll get that into it in a second, celebrities, even Madonna was basically tagged for spreading misinformation. But on top of that, this, I think we have it here. So,
well, on the Madonna one though, Adam, there was a line in this article about Madonna that is something she said, so a claim she made that I thought was interesting, and you can choose if you want to say it out loud or just show it on the screen.
So let's see here. It says pop star Madonna has been censured by Instagram after sharing a video about the CV conspiracy theory to her 15 million followers. In her post, the singer claimed that the V scene for CV-19 had already been found. But was being hidden to let rich get richer. What's so funny,
See, I knew that was going to ring a bell with you because we've talked about this.
So somebody I personally know, their good friend is one of the lead researchers, and at this point, I think the people know. I think that if this person told them, then they've probably told a bunch. I'm sure there's a lot of people that know this by now, but this was, when do you think that was? February? Or early March?
It was early on in this thing. It was
what they said,
probably February.
What they said, and this was, supposedly, allegedly, they had already had a tested, totally ready to go V ready for this. And that the up above started with a C, turned it down, and made them wait. Now, I know that there's going to be a good chunk of people who say, yeah, right, why would they do that? That's the question I'm asking. So the whole thing is human trials. Well, if there was human trials, like full on, and that means that they were doing stuff before this ever happened. It's kind of weird, right? If that was true. That means they were doing trials before. Instagram blurred out the video with a caption saying false information. So, and then this is funny. So this is DT Jr. This is Ted Cruz saying, Ted Cruz is saying, Twitter, please ban CNN. Of course, that's because CNN posted a surprising new study found that the controversial malarial drug hydroquine helped CV better survive in the hospital. So they actually posted this, 7/3/20. DT posts something just literally talking about people who said that, and they suspended his account. So Ted Cruz said, okay, well, you're going to have to ban CNN too, which it's only fair. It's BS that these big platforms can literally pick and choose who they don't like and who they can censor. It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense that people want to watch this thing. It's just crazy to me why they have to interject politics into all of this stuff. All these platforms, it's just crazy. It should be completely natural search results. Carlson, big tech engaging in censorship on CV to help BIDEN. Let's say, what was it? The guy that's gonna... I can't remember.
You ain't black. You ain't black. I'm going to be Joe White.
Tuesday on Fox News Channel's Tucker Carlson Tonight, host Tucker Carlson explained how big tech was working to help former VP JB, we'll call him JB, election prospects through the censorship of the doctors offering information counter to the prevailing wisdom dominating the mainstream media regarding the CV. I'll let you guys go into this article. It's very obvious. This article will be available. This was through Breitbart. It will be available on marfooglenews.com on our page under this thumbnail. So you can easily go read the rest if you would like. I think we all pretty much know what is in it. Again, you can go check it out for yourself. And then here is DT's tweet. It says, if Congress doesn't bring fairness to big tech, which they should have done years ago, I will do it myself with executive orders. In Washington, it has all been all talk and no action for years, and the people of our country are sick and tired of it. So even if you don't like the gentleman, you should be able to, by now, agree with that statement that big tech should not be able to pick and choose. I even know people that are just, they just would literally, you wouldn't want to put them in the same room as this man. But they agree that that man should be able to say whatever he wants, or any man should be able to say what they want, as long as they're not causing physical harm to someone else, or, telling somebody to make physical harm. I mean, even if there's some people that say whatever. Again, there should be kind of common decency there. There should be kind of the 10 Commandments, but other than that, we should be able to say and speak our mind. Otherwise, if you don't have that, you don't have anything. Then we're just humans but with invisible chains. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So, Adam, this tweet comes right on the heels of the hearing that went on in the Senate with, I think it was Sundar. It was basically the big tech CEOs. You had Apple, you had Google, you had Zuckerberg there from Facebook. Now, Twitter was not there, which was interesting. But again, I think, when I listened to what went on there was a few revealing moments, and there was some really good, people that were really just digging in on the questions and trying to hit them hard. And then you had some people that were laying up dumb questions, like asking about Don Jr.'s suspension to Facebook. And of course, the answer to that is, I work for Facebook. I don't work for Twitter. So there's your answer, right? And it was just like, why would you waste our time in a Senate hearing going after those? So basically, I go back to this point of it was a whole lot of nothing that came out of this meeting, outside of a little bit of showboating from some of the senators, but then, a whole lot of nothing, because I think that
a nothing
pretty much
burger.
everyone in Congress is in bed with big tech, and they have been for decades. And there's not much
They're not even in bed. By the way, they are at the end of the bed like a dog, sitting there going, waiting for a treat. Big tech literally can put, $100,000 in their pocket. How do you think half of these politicians get rich?
Every single one of them has gotten, I would almost bet, has gotten some form of donation from the big tech for their campaigns, for all their stuff. Every one of them is paid on some form or another.
Well, and again, even some of the lower positions, when they campaign, period, they can accept donations under certain rules. And then what those campaign dollars go to, there's different things regarding that as well. So, some people, just to make it really, really, really simple, is, so say, Joe Schmo is running for president. People that know Joe Schmo, that have talked to him personally and says, hey, I need to have all my stores in Washington hold liquor. I need liquor to be sold in my stores. Right now, there's a law against that. Hey, I'll give you $200,000 for your campaign, but can you remember me when you get into office? That's almost exactly what has happened thousands of times at this point. And you're talking about, that should be fraud. That should be a crime. It is a crime, I'm sure, right? You can't just pay to have laws passed, but Costco was able to pay to have basically all the ma and pa liquor stores knocked out that were under different rules. And now every place with over 10,000 square foot can sell liquor. And it's because they did all of this campaign. They spent more money than any other law passing in Washington. And this is just Washington. That's just a small example. But it was big Costco. Costco had millions and millions of dollars into it. I think it was like $75 million or something that they put into advertising for this thing. So these guys, the politicians, are underneath corporations. Corporations are now our country's leaders. That's unfortunate, but it's true, because president still has to answer to Congress. And then when you've got multiple Congress and these big tech have so much money, they can just make it rain on him. Then they can make his life hell, or whoever takes his place, unless he goes along with what they want to do. Which, even if you're a fan, I'm sure somebody has been in his pocket. Every president there has ever been has had, done things for people when they got into office. Think about if you were president tomorrow. Is there people you would do favors for that owned businesses? Probably. It's probably people you'd pardon. Who knows? But again, they're not even in bed. They're at the edge of the bed, just, waiting for a bacon strip. This is Nancy Pell, OC. Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution states, quote, the Congress may determine the time of choosing and the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. And, of course, retweeted DT, saying with universal mail-in voting, quote, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote. So, is it now going to be a mail-in vote? Is this what is going on right now? Not an absentee, a mail-in vote. Is that what it's...
That's happening in California. It's happening in lots of states right now where they're just sending out mass amounts of ballots and just saying, hey, mail in your vote. And they don't know, they can't track who they're going to, where they're going to, and it's different by state. Like every state has their own rules. Like some states allow, absentee ballots, but when you do that, you have to register for it. You have to have an excuse. You have to fill out paperwork, and then they have to agree. And if they agree with it, then they'll send you your absentee ballot, and that's not easy for them to just mass produce. But then, these other scenarios where they're saying, hey, because of CV, we want everybody to be safe, so we're just going to blanket out these ballots and tell everybody to mail them in. Well, there's, what tracking is on that? How do you prevent them from being fraudulent? How do you know who they are? And they've seen in some instances where the fraud has been high in certain areas where they've done testing on this, where it doesn't work out. The counts aren't there. There's 120% registered when it should only be 100% registered, right? So where does an extra 20% of people show up? So those are some of the examples that are being said. And there's obviously a push from one side for mails and mail ballots, and the other side is to not do it because they feel it's going to be fraudulent.
Well, so again, people should be fighting back against this. People can go to the grocery store, people can go to get their haircut, but they can't go into, they could simply build with plywood. They could make voting completely and utterly separated. We could get in line all the way down for miles. They could use an abandoned property that's 5 miles long and have everyone line up 6 feet apart. You could social distance and vote. I don't see why or how they are convincing anybody. And really, I think it's people that know that it's completely possible and they know what's going on here. They're like, yeah. No, mail-in votes. Mail-in votes is not cool.
Yeah, and not to get too political here, but I thought there was a lot of irony at the funeral, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where former President O was there speaking at the eulogy and turned it into a political event. But he was talking to a large audience that was at a funeral, not socially distanced, saying that we need to have mail-in ballots so that we can not get sick. And I'm thinking you're kind of like you're saying it's okay to stand here right now with all these people in front of me and we're not going to get sick. But if I go to the polling booth, I'm going to get sick.
Well, did you see it was the same thing with the GF thing, and then Oprah just during all of that, the 3 days in, they were already having a panel of 16 of the most respected African American people on, and they were talking about mail-in ballots. They made a whole special of it, and Oprah had all of these people, and basically what it was is everybody's statements. You watch half an hour of it, and anybody that knows is like, wait a second. Every one of them is going back and mentioning that mail-in votes is a good thing, and that voting is how we change this. So basically, you're saying the whole purpose of this is basically being used to push back into the mail-in voting?
Yeah, dude, I'm putting on if I have to wear a hazmat suit, I will. I'm going to a polling booth. I mean, as a child, I remember the day I was first, I was waiting till I was old enough for my first election so I could go in and actually go to the polling booth and actually go in and vote. There's a stigma to doing that. It's like really cool. It's like, it's a great thing. And I just can't imagine just like filling out a piece of paper and shoving it in a mailbox and hoping it gets there and hoping it actually counts.
So people think that it's completely rigged, but no, the system to get the main two up there is rigged. And then, well, in my opinion, and then they have the actual, there's so many people watching it that when it's a physical mail-in thing, there's ways then they can screw it up. Like if you look at Bush, the whole recount situation, recount twice, we probably would have had Al Gore. I mean, we would have. I think it's because that was where the fraudulent part came in. It's rigged because they can change the results if they don't like them. They tried to. But in this case, there was some very high up people that made this happen. I mean, there's no way, DT should have won. Think about it. Every single media, all the way up through his entire campaign, he started as a joke. It was literally a joke and then ended up going up and up and up. And every single media did not have his back, including Fox. Remember, Fox didn't even have his back. Nobody wanted to put their neck out and go, hey, support him. There was a few, but it was mostly like, right-sided conservative media members. As far as like the news, everybody had Hillary's back. Everybody was helping. So he did the impossible. So and it wasn't Russia, buying ads or whatever the heck no. It was people wanting something different. Speaking of all of this stuff, as far as social distancing, what they're doing now is contact tracing. If you do not want to be contact traced, you can actually get something like a Faraday bag for your phone. This is Edek. They've actually been making these for over 12 years. Not only are these high quality, but these are the same ones that they sell to FBI and different agencies for evidence bags. So if they get a bad guy's phone or laptop, they put it in the evidence area and they can't just remotely wipe it. In fact, they won't be able to access it at all. And that means neither can they to trace you. And to say, hey, you were within 18 feet of 3654. Now you have to be taken out of your home because you only have one bathroom. Go easily to marfooglenews.com/edek. There's also the old school, tried and true utility bag with a window that is also available. That's the one they've been making for 12 years. And then this one is the brand new state-of-the-art thermal welded stitchless seams bag. Again, this goes to help us grow our channel and to help us fix some of the problems that we have on a day-to-day basis. So we really appreciate you doing it, and they make great gifts. So again, it's a win-win for everybody. All right, and then back to the phones. Who do we have next? Again, you guys can call in at 224-400-MARF. First, I want to say Machina Opus. Machina Opus. Very crisp image today, Marf. Keep up what you're doing. I have problems buying lemons via Amazon Pay, so I can't sub on DLive. So just so you know, you don't have to buy any lemons to be on DLive. Just so you know, that's to enter a chat, you just have to press enter on your phone. You do not have to buy lemons to actually come over to DLive. DLive is totally free. A lot of people get confused because right down here on the phone, there's a little kind of arrow button that looks like you're sending the chat, and that's actually the buy lemons thing. It's probably on purpose, but again, you don't have to buy lemons to chat. All you do is just press enter on your keyboard. Let's see. We've got Bales. Love from Australia, mate. Bales, that's awesome. Thank you, Bales. Backwood Ingenuity says, live free, travel light, work hard. Much love to the Foogle fam, Adam, Dex, and mods. By the way, they've talked about taking troops from Germany since 16th-ish. That's awesome. Thank you, Backwoods. And I'm sure that's probably because of the UN money. And then we've got Linda G. Great work, Marf. Sometimes listen to you on DLive, but saw you on YouTube tonight. Well, thank you, Linda G. I recognize your name. Thank you. Craig Greathouse says, hey, Marf, T-Man will ban TikTok tomorrow. What if that is the news? Wouldn't that be huge? How social, how socially big it is here in the States. I mean, you're talking about. What are they mentioning? Something like?
I think the rumor is he's going to demand that they spin off the U.S. interest of that application, and I think that Microsoft is looking to buy it.
Wow, that would be huge. Well, that's just as bad. Then you've got Microsoft tracing and tracking everybody. Well, we'll see what happens. Craig Greathouse, thank you for that. Doc Bill, Ghislaine Max. I shouldn't. Her first name is probably filtered by now. What a weird name in the first place. Trained EpiPen victims as, quote, sex slaves, new court documents alleges. Not only that, the new court documents and what they have been saying is they've basically busted out Andrew Prince. You've got Dershowitz actually officially in there. You've got Clinton. Now they're saying that for sure. There's all sorts of stuff coming out. So I said nobody is safe here. That's what a lot of the Q folks are saying. And by the way, if you ran away from Q, even the people that hate Q and think it's a psyop, you do have to admit there's been some information there in the last year you should be looking over again because it's pretty crazy. You've even got General Flynn, WWG, WW all. CJ Wood, thank you for the super sticker. Ilea T-Man lost the popular vote by over 2 million ballots. So again, that's a great point. Susan Donahue, that's what I'm saying. There's all sorts of weird things there with the election. With many thanks and much love, my money is on hashtag Team Humanity. Stay hashtag Foogle Strong and Ascension Ready. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you. I was pretty sure we... Sir Budrick, 6 foot, obviously trying to vilify the warrior class, and Joseph Newhouse. After you tweeted about Musk, I saw a strange article. See video about seismometer and Aurora Borealis. OLOTR secrets. Follow-up. Thanks for streaming. Oh, well, thank you for watching. Paul Crane. Stupidity is contagious. Dumb people have a 100% chance to be stupid. I love it, Paul Crane. That's awesome. What was it I was watching last night? The new season of Umbrella Academy, which does show some pretty, symbolic stuff in that. First off, they have in the 60s, how, if you've never seen that show, you gotta watch it. It's at least a crazy show. But they show the end of the world. By the way, did anybody catch that the moon, a chunk of the moon gets hit and then comes down on hits Earth? This was made after we talked about the whole moon video and everything else. Is that kind of, prediction? Is that some sort of predictive programming, might you say? But also, they had in that, the line last night, what was it? He goes, close your mouth, you got stupid falling out, or something. He goes, will you shut your mouth? There's stupid falling out. It was pretty funny. I'm really bad at quotes. And then we've got 007 Stinkerbell, Odinata, Unicorn Forest over on D-Live. Thank you. Ed G. Whalen, Red Dick, thank you for following. I appreciate that. And we've got Lake Child and Venezuelan. Thank you for just following. We've got Jen Lay Awake driving in with a Miss Lamborghini, a Ninja-Gini. We missed you, buddy. What a ride. So glad you are back. Only news I use. Well, thank you, and I'd say hi to Baldy Locks, or your husband. Watch Wolf, thank you again for the Ninja-Gini as well. And Kahaja Fly Girl and Lady G476, haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you for being here. And Tuck Pup, thank you for all your support. All right, let's get in the caller. We've got...
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
Real quick on Dr. Bill's comment about EpiPen and the stuff that came out. You had mentioned Dershowitz. He actually came out and went on and interviewed tonight on Tucker. And you got to watch it later when you have a chance.
Okay, so again, he has been kind of outspoken now. So what has been happening with Dershowitz is that he has been going publicly. He's been tweeting. He's been basically saying, yeah, if they have videos of all the victims and stuff, release them, because I want to prove that I'm not on any of them. And I bet you that's because he probably, paid him $5 million to go, hey, can I get my copy of my video? Like the only one? I bet that's a VIP service they offer for an extra price. All right, let's go to the caller. You can... Yeah,
so next up we have Tuck Pup. Tuck Pup, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, thanks, Dex. Marf, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, brother, and good to see that Mrs. Marf is in the chat. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, man, glad to be here tonight. Glad you guys got up and running. I just wanted to... I was chatting around in there earlier, and the last about 2-3 days ago, obviously I'm up in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and 2 days in a row I felt a couple tremor-like shakes up here that I just wanted to bring to attention. There was, I think her name was Debbio in chat, had mentioned she's up in Egan. She, I think, or he, I don't know, is up in Egan a little bit outside of the cities here, and said that she's been feeling the same thing for a couple years. So I figured I would bring that up and thought it was interesting because I got online and poked around, looked for a couple things and got nothing on there. So I just wanted to bring that to attention. And then I also on the other subject, I did end up sending you videos. I did go out and do a building count in downtown Minneapolis, and there's definitely 25 to 30 that are still down, or that were burned down and completely, decimated from those deals. But things have calmed down here. The scariest thing I'm dealing with right now is going to Chipotle to get a burrito, because nobody's doing any distancing when they're trying to get dinner in a Chipotle, which is interesting because now we're talking about distancing to go and vote. So apparently we don't have to worry when we're getting burritos, but we got to worry when it comes to political sways, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even if you go into Taco Bell or McDonald's or anywhere right now across the country, people aren't social distancing. Most people in grocery stores, which are heavily, mandated one way, are, one way this and one way that, they're not enforcing anything. So how would they be able to say that we can't go and vote with, even more stringent rules and now, push the whole mail-in ballots? Doesn't make too much sense.
Well, exactly. And it's interesting, too, that, there's this social media presence as far as kind of the separation of society, so to speak, that I've mentioned here before, where it's mask or no mask, and, CV being a hoax or not a hoax. I will say, too, my whole family in the last 3 days has found out that 2/3 of my family has contracted it in the last 3 days. So prayers out to them. My sister just had brain surgery, and my stepmom's severely immunocompromised, but they're all doing well. Praise God for that right now. But it is interesting how quick it can happen and come over people. And even within my family, who, is on multiple sides of the political coin, just decides to start arguing about it, on whose fault it is, whose fault it's not. And the fact of the matter is, either way, there's not much we can do about it. It's going to go down. And I think the more we play into it, as society speaks, either way, that arguing doesn't help us. So there's a lot of things. And the picture of the apple I'm looking at right now too, man, that threw me for a loop. But it's just really interesting, man. And these two little shakes that I felt are unreported, but it's just some more weird stuff. And then me and my buddies were sitting outside tonight, watched two solid things fall out of the sky. Don't know what they were. Saw a drone today. I mean, for lack of a better term, shit's getting real, and I think we all know that.
No, I completely agree with you, Tuck Pup. And again, you'll probably see, you mentioned Miss Marf. Miss Marf, without me saying a thing, what did you just hear? Because I tried to turn the volume up.
I see that there.
There is a multiple helicopters. So there it is again. Listen.
Oh yeah.
Miss Marf, if you can get video.
Yeah, I can hear that coming through on my phone.
I didn't know if it would actually come through there, but it was. Those are big, and you can feel the rotors. I'm in the third floor down, and I can feel it shaking. I'm in the basement, and it's like it shakes the whole house. And these are not multiple days in a row. This is now the third days of Apaches. Chinook, and I've having to Google and go, which one is that? Which one is this? They're military. Why are they flying circles? Why are they doing all these things right now? And not only that, people in Michigan, where you're from, people in New York, people in Chicago, a lot of people responded via Twitter, said that they've been having them fly over at night. They're still there. They're just doing all sorts of weird stuff.
Well, and we have up in Minneapolis here, we have that the Air Force Base, and it's not uncommon to see military planes flying in and out, but it is somewhat uncommon to see C-130s flying over the Twin Cities. And I would say in the last 2 weeks, I've seen in the area of half a dozen, probably 6 to 10 in the last 2 weeks. And I'm used to seeing them, having lived up here for 7 months prior last year. But flying directly over the Twin Cities as low as they're going is another interesting thing, and it's neither here nor there. But yeah, they're rolling, man.
And talk about when people see that, is if you live right by an airport, that's one thing. But if you are in a residential neighborhood far away from any of this, not in the path, that's when you start going like, what are they doing and why are they doing it in this area and why are they doing it so low? They're obviously doing a drill of sorts. Then you look it up, and normally they're public. So obviously when we spot military helicopters, most of the time you can go and a local newspaper will say, did you see it? A lot of people reported it. They wanted to know what was going on. And they'll say, this general is in town getting a tour. But these ones have all been completely unlisted, totally off of the record flights. So, and then you go and you actually check, and they're nowhere to be seen on the flight radar. Well, anyways, Tuck Pup, we've got to finish the news off tonight. I want to thank you for coming on. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
No, man. Just keep up the good work. You guys are awesome. Hopefully, one of these days, I got everything besides the camera because I've been producing my own music. So, hopefully, one of these days, I'll get on and put a face to the name. But yeah, I appreciate everything you guys do, and prayers for Mrs. Marf and fam and everybody else out there. So y'all take care.
All right, you too. And Tuck Pup, take your phone. Anybody can do that. And then with your music and everything else, there's chords that you can literally turn your phone into a awesome computer. All right.
Brother, I got the whole studio hooked up for music. I just got to get a camera.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you, Tuck Pup, and you have a great night. And thank you for your support. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Up next, I'm going to show you a couple things. So these are some tweets that we pulled together, and then you guys have actually sent more. We'll probably show those on tomorrow's show. I keep hearing them, man. They're just crazy. There's so many. I've tweeted. In fact, I tweeted yesterday. I tweeted the day before that. There's so many of them, and they are straight up like 50 feet above the ground. I might be exaggerating. That might be way too low, but I'm telling you, they're like maybe 150, 200 feet off the air or above the trees. They're low enough to where it shakes the ground. In Chicago, they were going down to like 20 feet. They were doing stuff to where it was blowing people during the riots and things like that. They were doing very aggressive moves. But here they're doing very similar stuff, and there's no riots. It's just nuts. Renegade PD, Conniption Fit. Thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription. Thank you for gifting the Marfia badge. Looks like to 007 Stinkerbell. Thank you so much, Conniption Fit. Auntie M, Odinata, and Tis Dis 1812. Thank you for following. Lots of new followers during the show. It looks like at least 15. Pumpkin Suprema, thank you. Sandra C, thank you. Thank you, all of the new followers. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. I will find you and I will shout you out. Before that, though, just want to point out Teresa Wrench, thank you. Much love. Stay safe. Good to see y'all back. Now, one thing that happened when Tuck Pup was calling, High Impact Flicks was calling, and I wish he was looking to see if we were live. I would love for him to call in. We have not had Brian call in yet. Tracy Thompson, thank you so much for the support as well. Dex, do you have Brian's information? I don't know if you ever did.
I don't know if I have his. I don't have his number. I think I have other.
Seems
ways
like he's
to
up.
connect with him.
It would be cool to just have him call in for 5 minutes. Anyways, but that's unfortunate. Right now, Brian, if you are watching, just so you know, I'm using a hotspot. It's been an entire mess going live. All sorts of weirdness going on. And
if you are on and you want to call in, I'll send you a message on Discord.
So what happened is I'm actually using somebody else's SIM card in my phone for a hotspot because Even, that's the weird part. We did all this trial and error, and we're still having the same issues with a separate internet, totally unconnected, on a hotspot, on a cellular line. And it's not the computer. And now we're not having any issues at all with somebody else's. That's what's weird to me. Seems to me like somebody doesn't like what we're seeing. All right. To get back into the tweets, this is Iggy Azalea. And the creepy part, probably wouldn't even notice. You guys probably didn't notice. Check that out. Now, what do they call the New York City Dex? Isn't it called the big
It's not an orange, right?
Zucchini? Oh, man.
Maybe a pear?
The big
we're a peach.
And they've got barbed wire around this photo. Everything has purpose in Hollywood, and that's just creepy. Look at that. Barbed wire around an apple. Like lockdown. Signaling. What do you guys think about that? That, again, was Matt. Matt Francis sent that. In fact, let's see if this post has some new ones. I know that we loaded most of them. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh, and if you guys haven't seen those little videos I put on Twitter, if you guys know how to make an emote out of that, please go over and do. I would love to see it. Okay, so let's see here. There's quite a few. Okay, then there was Conan O'Brien. I'm starting to resent the way my postmate says, quote, "Another 3 Pizza Tuesday, Mr. O'Brien." With people that know what pizza means, that's kind of creepy. Kirstie Alley, waking up early, wondering why we have such a hard time accepting new approaches. Maybe we've been tricked so many times that we confused and distrustful. So that one I don't so much think is signaling. That's more like she's just straight up telling her opinion. What time? And Kirstie Alley is pretty vocal, which, you know, it's surprising. Most of the celebrities that are, and this is not an offense thing, no offense to Kirstie Alley, but again, Kirstie Alley had a great career, and then, you know, Hollywood only lasts so many years for most people, and then you're kind of used up and then thrown out. Kirstie Alley still works a lot. She still does a lot of comedy stuff. She's kind of got a niche into, you know, back in when I was a kid, Look Who's Talking and all of those. Of course, some of you are like, look, that's the example you gave. Even when she was younger, Cheers, I think, was Kirstie Alley, right? Dex, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's her.
Cheers. But even before that, she had stuff. Long career. But again, the celebrities that you see not going with the narrative, they don't have work. If they are conservative, they don't have work. That's messed up. Because Hollywood is all, you know, one direction. And I'm not talking about One Direction because those kids are just annoying. Nicki Minaj, this was a weird one too. I don't know what kind of symbology this is. It almost reminds me of like Shiva or something like that. You guys can see this coming through a portal. The baby's coming through a portal. I don't know what, somebody who is better at symbology could probably pick out something better with this. To me, it looks like a tie-dye portal coming out of the woods. She's pregnant. What is up with her finger, though? Did you guys see that? I can't zoom in any further, can I? Look at that. Let's see if I can. Shoot. That's as big as I can make it. Look at, there's something on her finger. I wish I could zoom in on that. Oh, maybe I can a little bit more. Nope, I can't. It's some sort of weird, like, long finger thing. Joseph Newhouse actually posted Elon Musk's sets location to Trollheim and confirms he plays RuneScape. Elon Musk confirmed that he's a full-blown gamer on Twitter after responding to a fan who was curious about his location update. Look at young Elon Musk. It's crazy. If this was back in the 80s, he would be one of those Dungeons and Dragons weirdos. Okay. I mean, there is no doubt with the mask and the big Rona-virus in the background. Full video. This is Daryl Devine. That technically doesn't count. Only weird thing I've seen was Tom Hanks and his wife becoming a Greek citizen. Why Greek? Watch live Flori. Okay, that's just very not related, but that's okay. And then check this out. This is Elon Musk a few days ago. Again, that looks like a plume from an asteroid. Look at all of the stuff he's been posting. We could spend a whole day on Elon tweets, but we won't. Again, this saying it's inevitable. Now, remember, he's posted a lot of stuff. In fact, he's changed his profile pic again. Before, it was the picture of 3 flames. I wonder what he picked now. Look at this. So that one's not very symbolic. People have broke down the fact that, you know, his banner is terraforming Earth out of Mars, or terraforming Mars into Earth. Aliens built the pyramids, obviously, or OBV. I don't know what that means. I would guess, obviously. Let's see. The Great Pyramid was the tallest structure made by humans for 3,800 years, 3,800 years. Why did he have to put that out there? Why did he put that like that? Do you guys get what I'm saying? For 3,800 years, and then took the time to spell 3,800 years. Why would he do that? And some people think that he just does this weird stuff to try to cause conspiracy theories, like he's doing it as a troll. I don't think so. The dude's a billionaire, has government contracts. He knows what's going on with everything. He's in the know. So what the hell is he doing? They're coming home. But look at some of the stuff, man. I'm telling you. He posted, dying in your arms tonight. Watch this. This is just creepy stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Things we take for granted. Look at this. Things we take for granted, like flying, would have had you burned at the stake for witchcraft not that long ago. Witch logic. She's a witch. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Let's see here. There's the weirdest stuff on here too. Look at this. That's supposedly the BFR. That could extend range. Neuralinks are currently meant for mature brains and functionalities lost if removed. And this is the weirdest part. You're talking about Elon, who's working on Neuralink. He's working on spaceships, and he's also working on tunnels. These are 3 frickin' of the weirdest. Like, this guy is literally leading the march into the future. That's scary. It says, I'm flying free now. Let's see here. Congrats on a great launch. Look at this. Now, you're going to end up seeing, he posts the weirdest things. DJ Tiesto, Adagio, all the songs have something in common. This was regarding Bill Gates. This was replying to himself, talking about people think that we are lovers, talking about him and Bill Gates. And then posts to his own tweet, people, no, we're not, me and Bill Gates are not lovers, and then post the videos but sometimes when we touch, and people think it's a joke, right? I get it is, but the way that the song is, I'm dying in your hands, or I'm dying in your arms tonight. Look at this. It almost seems like they're like deleting things too. Elon, could you rave? Look at this. I just died in your arms tonight. He's doing song quotes, and then he actually posted song lyrics. He posted, what do you call it? Nirvana. And it was the whole, everything has something to do with death. And I'm telling you, it's flippin' weird. The pictures that he has, he posted a picture of the wallpapers. Like, all the money he's making. Why would he post, you can get Tesla wallpapers from the little China Tesla thing, whatever. And the China Tesla wallpapers show paratroopers dropping in almost all of their wallpapers. This was his old profile pic. This is what I was talking about. And some people said it was the 3 towers, which, remember, the 3 towers were destroyed. Of Herdon, I believe. Look at this. 666 responds to a wink. Lots of weirdness. Some more than parts. I'm telling you, this dude, I watch him like a hawk. And some of you are like, oh, who cares? I'm telling you, that guy, oh yeah. I bet no one on Twitter even has a guillotine. Posiers. Why did he spell it like that too? I'm telling you, there's something there. He's literally, and then that other one, this one is just the one with the dog, the plume. It's just creepy. Here's Elon.
That's the Dogecoin.
Dogecoin. Now, do you get that joke? Obviously, it's a Bitcoin thing.
Dogecoin. So Doge is an old the dog Doge, as people called it, is an old meme from the internet. And then during the Bitcoin craze, the last round, people were creating coins, and somebody as a joke created a Dogecoin, and it ended up getting like $60 million in value. And it's nothing. It's just a joke. It's a joke coin. Like, there was no reason to create it. They just did it as a joke. So I think that's what he's playing there with what was it, contrasting the economy or something like that? I can't remember the tweet, but yeah, that's what Dogecoin is.
Global economy or something, the financial global economy or something like that.
When you're done with Elon, I have a bonus tweet for you though.
Okay, let me load it. And then here, look. Again, I showed this on my quick video on Marfoogle TV last night. Look at this. Okay, look at this one. I'll click on this picture. This has paratroopers. Just dropping into a Tesla business. It looks apocalyptic, though all of them look apocalyptic. It's got this weird tower, like it's some sort of camera / sound tower / weaponized camera tower, whatever the heck that is, 5G. It then has like these apocalyptic, this person's walking with like either a small child or something. I don't know what that is. You have to understand, somebody designed this, and then all 4 of them, but there's multiple with the whole parachuting thing, which I do not get. Let me show you. It's actually going to go through, it should go through all 4, right? Let's see. This one as well. That one has floating things in the sky. This one has these towers. Look at this. These are air raid sirens. Those are straight up, that's what an air raid siren looks like. It's got 4 towers and a nuclear silo. What is the deal with that?
And did you mention that this was made in China?
Well, yeah, and again, this is
that
there's
you
palm
gotta
trees.
put yourself through that lens too. Makes it even creepier.
Where are there palm trees in China? Do they have palm trees? They do have palm trees, right? In different jungle parts.
In the south.
It's just, and then So what it looks like is that they have depicted the USA, but this is made in China, and it's for China Tesla. And then look at this. Look at this. They're dropping in packages. Those are military style parachutes that they drop like tanks, or they drop supply crates. What the hell? And then they put the disco ball. This one, again, things in the sky. Towers. In every single one of them, they have a tower. It's just flippin' creepy. They're signaling. There's something here, I'm telling you. Either way, if you see a weird tweet, I want you guys to send it to us. Tweet us. Make sure to tweet it, and it will be on the next show. We're going to start a section. In fact, Weird Celebrity Tweets is going to be a section on our show from now on. So please send it to us. If you guys want to support us in a different way and protect yourself, again, these are all protective items. NordVPN is one of the best. It's actually usually put out there by people like Casey Neistat. So it was lucky for us to get a partnership with them. Again, NordVPN is a virtual private network. You can basically put yourself somewhere else. Again, this is something that will actually protect you from some of the bad guys. They won't be able to get your true IP address. It hides it from the bad guys. And then again, if you've spent your whole life building up your credit score, you don't want somebody going in through your computer and taking it along with your identity. You can go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. It's very affordable. In fact, it's upwards of over 70% off if you get the biggest plan with our code. So again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. That's marfooglenews.com/VPN, code Marfoogle. If you help, what was that?
Oh, I was going to tell. I'm sorry. Were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Bonus tweet. You gotta get this one.
Okay, let me load it.
It's in the screener. So
okay,
let me give you.
So this is T-Man.
Little background on this. This is T-Man. So and it's a weird tweet. And the reason why I say it's a weird tweet, the story behind it is a business owner was getting potentially run out of town because they were promoting a T-Man flag. So he makes this tweet. But now, remember what the topic of the tweet is and pay attention to some of the words in it. And tell me, is this not weird?
Okay, support Patio Pizza and its wonderful owner, Guy Caligiuri, in St. James, Long Island, New York. Great pizza at Varnico. Okay.
So take out the take out the word long.
St. James Island?
Yeah, you know what that is, right?
That's EpiPen.
Mm-hmm. And what does pizza?
Okay, great.
All right. See how crazy this tweet could actually be?
And that was July 30th, 2020. And the first most popular tweet here says, the president is advertising pizza in the middle of a pandemic. No, this is symbology. Support Patio Pizza, though. And it's wonderful owner Guy Caligiuri in St. James, Long Island. Is that a hit signal or something? Like, what the heck? Is he saying knock out somebody?
That's crazy, is it not? I mean, but there's a whole story. Like, this guy was on Fox News and said his pizza place was getting, so, there's like this regular story that makes sense. But when you take it through the lens of other things, you're like, wow, this tweet could be really, you could peel back some layers here.
Well, okay, so did you guys see the SpongeBob thing that's been going around? Basically, the same address that's on SpongeBob's ID, and it's been shown in multiple episodes. Like, as a joke, he shows the ID, and it's almost like Ren and Stimpy. It shows the ID, and it's like 1, 2, 3, Long Bottom Pit, St. James Island or something. In fact, I'll just look it up here so you guys can see. SpongeBob ID. Bikini Bottom, right? This is the part. It's 124 Conch Street. And that directly correlates with something that on Google Maps is like EpiPen's Island or whatever. So a lot of people were like, what the hell is up with this? And this I confirmed. We have the first 100 episodes on DVD that we watch with our daughters. Our daughter has it for the car. And again, this I did actually confirm, says that in the show. But somebody said that you can possibly like go to Google and like if a thing is wrong, you can like change it, kind of like Wikipedia. I don't know what the story was with that, but it did match. And then if you go to Google Maps, if you look that up, it looks like it's EpiPen's Island or something. Isn't that weird? Something like that. I did confirm that on the show it shows that. So if that is indeed that's some flippin' signaling, if you tell me what. Dex, if you want to bring on the next caller, it looks like we have, let's see here.
Yeah. Next up, we have Javier. Javier, you are live on Marfoogle News.
What's going on? You want to talk about the next
guys,
coming
how's it
conflict? Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, hey, how you doing?
Good. So you want to talk about the experience with comets? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So first, thank you for allowing me to get on. I first found out about you through the interview in Israeli Live News Live.
Oh, nice. So you're new
I don't
over
know if
here.
you remember that.
Yeah.
Sir, new follower, new subscriber. Yes.
Sweet. So what is your experience with all this?
So just to give you, I'll be quick. Just to kind of give you a premise, what I would like to share with you guys and your listeners is more on a spiritual tip. I'll give an example. Since I was 10 years old, long story short, I've had a gift, what you call a revelation. I'll give you an example. I dreamt about Hurricane Katrina, I believe a week before it happened, the tsunami in Singapore a couple of days before it happened. The conflict that we went into Afghanistan, I dreamt that a month or so. And what I wanted to just real quick, I want to touch on was the coming conflict and the asteroids. I found it amazing when I was looking at the interview that you did with Israeli News Live, and you mentioned something. So right now I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Just to go back real quick, 4 years ago, I had a dream. I was with my wife and we was walking the streets and we was holding hands, having a great night. It was a beautiful night. The stars were shining and everything. And I want to say a minute later, we heard a huge boom and the whole street where we was at shook. And I looked up and my wife and I looked up and we saw stars falling. I mean, they were falling and they were causing earthquakes. It was a whole, like something out of a, San Andreas movie. And so that was 4 years ago. Then just a few days ago, I saw the interview that you did with Mr. Benoon, and you mentioned something. So right now we're in San Antonio, and I'm a Christian. I'm a believer, and Lord has basically guided us here I'm originally from the Bronx, New York, and he had told me to go to Texas. We've been here for 4 years. And I love it here. We love it here. And long story short, the Lord has been telling us move north. He said, go to the mountains. So I've been looking at different areas like Idaho. And I don't know why it settled with Colorado. And I remember in the interview, and this is before I even saw the interview, this was so amazing. You mentioned how that, I believe, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, that you said the government believes that the asteroids attack, or when this happens, that it's going to be so devastating that they might move the capital from DC to Colorado. Am I correct in you saying that?
To NORAD. Yeah, with around
I'm sorry?
around Mount Cheyenne, or possibly 2 other locations. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So, and it was just basically that interview there was confirmation because, you know, we love it here, but now it's like all of a sudden God's telling us to move, and He's saying Colorado, and when I heard what you said with that, it just blew my mind. So that was the other thing I wanted to share with you is that a few, I want to say 3 years ago, I had a dream. So again, like I said, I dreamt before the conflict that we went into Afghanistan, before the attack and everything like that. I saw the towers go down and everything like that, and I didn't really understand it in the dream. This dream 3-4 years ago was I was in a wooded forest area, and I saw an eagle and I saw a cat. And it's funny because the reason why what made me research the cat was I was watching an interview about Tekashi 6ix9ine and how, you know, everybody knows him to be a rat, the snitch. And the gentleman said, well, you know, it is the year of the rat. So I looked it up, and I looked up what country celebrates the year of the cat. And in the dream, I saw the eagle fly over to the cat and attack it. And they were attacking each other back and forth. When I looked up the cat, or who celebrates the year of the cat, or the zodiac of the year of the cat, was Korea. And I believe that, you know, everybody's so fixated on Russia and China, which I believe, you know, eventually it's going to get there. But I believe that the very next conflict that's going to happen soon is going to be between the U.S. and North Korea. So that's what I just wanted to share with you guys.
Well, thank you for sharing the revelation. Again, a lot of people are having dreams. One thing that we just recently had, so my sister, I think I told you guys this without boring you with dreams. I had a flood dream, and then I was not talking to my sister for a couple days. She ended up messaging my wife and saying she had a flood dream where she was in a tree at water level. Basically, she was up at a climbed up a tree at water level, and there was debris everywhere, and she was seeing everything floating around. I had a dream the night before that basically we were climbing up some sort of hillside resort, and the water was coming up the hotel, and each level the power was shorting out. I was literally watching a room with power short out, and the lights go out, and the front windows, like almost like we were walking upstairs and we could see through each hotel room. And then our neighbor, we just ended up having our kids get together and do water balloons. I ended up finding out that my neighbor and her wife had the same exact dream. Flooding, that they were trying to get to a mountain, and they even remembered it, you know, basically getting to a local one. They said Mount Rainier, and that they were trying to get to Mount Rainier. And I just think it's weird that so many people are having flooding dreams on the West Coast. I don't think it's an accident. And there's people having dreams. My wife had a dream the night before they announced that they had an alien or a vehicle not made here on Earth. And she was talking, we actually had it on speakerphone with Jacob Israel, which we talked about on the video, that they looked alien. So she had a dream the night before that these alien tanks were dropping, and then the next day they say that they have recovered a vehicle not made on Earth. I just think I think we're all in tune with something, and I don't think that's cuckoo or foo-foo. I think you may be seeing something ahead.
Absolutely. You know that, and I don't want to get all preachy, but the Bible does says in the end time that He's going to pour out His Spirit, and people are going to dream and see revelation, because He's going to make those who have an ear to listen what's going to happen. See, the issue with the falling stars, like it and comets, that's nothing new. It's in Matthew 24. Where it says that, you know, and after the tribulation, the sun won't give out its light, and then soon after the stars will fall. So this is the beginning signs of the end. And even, and I believe this is the last thing I'll say. My wife, she doesn't have revelation. Like, she rarely has dreams. And within the last 2 months, she has dreamt twice about FEMA camps and martial law, and she doesn't even really follow. You know what I'm saying? These events. I'm usually the one that's always on top of it, and listening to channels like yours, and studying through the Bible. And she was, having a dream so vivid that she woke me up in the middle of the night crying, and basically saying that the troops that were out there, there were also police officers, they were just shooting people if they did not comply at all. And the way she described what she saw, and what they were doing was the government was separating the husbands from the family, because once they took the husbands out the way, it was easier to get the family to take the vaccines. And that's where, in the dream, God told her for us to move to the mountains outside of, because he said that government is going to be looking for people in rural places. It's crazy.
Well, thank you for leaving us with that. Again, it's very, very creepy to think about if all of this is going to come true, and if we are in tune with it, then we've got some heavy, heavy problems ahead of us. Well, thank you so much for calling, and just because it's your first time, and thank you so much for coming over from Stephen Benoon's channel. If you guys have not checked out Israeli News Live, make sure to go check him out. Again, it was very gracious of him to have us on his channel. I think that he does... he is being watched, and the second we went on his channel, we had problems, and that's because if you're onto something, then that's when they start looking at you. So thank you so much for calling in, and I'm so glad you were able to come over here from there. You have a great night, and God bless.
Thank you.
Good night.
You too. God bless.
Okay, so let's see here. Miss Marf is in the chat. I was telling him about your dream, and honestly, she doesn't have dreams. She never has dreams, ever. I mean, you can speak for yourself, but am I hearing my brain think? But again, you don't have dreams, and the one time you have a dream and talk about it, we talk about it with Jacob Israel, and then the next day, that ends up being the headline. Again, Jacob Israel is really good with dreams. You'll tell him the very part of the beginning of the dream, and then he'll finish it. He'll go, were there people there you didn't know, or this or that? That man is, he's, I don't want to call him psychic because that's a bad word, but he's connected to something above. Anyways, let's see here. Dex. There was
Adam, I don't know how much more news we have left. Just giving you a time check. We got about 18 minutes left in the show.
Okay, so we do keep it now to 2 hours, and the reason why is because they cut the first 2 hours out of the show, and they'll only process that for 12 hours. And then what ends up happening is everybody sees the show minus the first half an hour, and it's really frustrating. I don't know when they're going to fix that. It did it 2 years ago, and then it stopped for a while. It's almost like they restarted it or something. I don't know why it has done that. Maybe it's because there's so many people on the internet or on YouTube that they did that, but I don't understand it. DLive has no problems. DLive's amazing. Again, I'm sure people are like, yes, it does. It's choppy. I like DLive a lot better than I do others, if you know what I mean. See, Adam, probably because of the community. The D-Livers are good crowd. It looks like Tower Bear has been literally absolutely blowing away just everything left and right. So Tower Bear, thank you for your support tonight. That looks like about 12 Ninja Guineas worth. That is unbelievable. Tower Bear, thank you for your huge support tonight. Thank you for being a support no matter what. Even if you just came in and dropped one lemon, I would say thank you, because Tower Bear, you've been in almost every single show. Like, hands down. You, Susan Donahue, Amy R. There's a few that literally don't miss a show. There's people, Debbie Yo, you've been here almost every show. I Love Beagles, you've been here. Smart Kid 14, you've been here almost every show. Lady Lexi, you pop in. Kahaja Fly Girl, almost every single show. There's so many people that watch every show, and I think you guys have to realize that helps everything. That helps our watch time. It helps us being shared. It helps everything. It helps when you guys, again, you know what else they're doing on the YouTube side? They're like mandatory, basically adding mid-roll ads, and if you can opt out of them, but then you will also opt out of being put with the algorithm. Isn't that messed up? We normally let it choose the ads again, but sometimes we actually have to remove ads because they put too many. See, Adam, we need a dream show. Kahaja Fly Girl, I know, you're right. I completely agree. And you know what's so messed up? People will complain. They go, I don't want a dream show. Why would you do this? We could make 10 videos in a day. You could watch the show you want to. I don't get why people can't skip a video. You know, if it's something you don't like, just skip it and don't watch it. It's almost like they have to watch every single one. So if it's something they don't like, they're like, oh, I've got to watch this now. With anything, too, with all of YouTube. It's weird as a creator, too, because, you know, we should be able to just put out whatever kind of weird videos. But it affects things. Watch Wolf, Kahaja Fly Girl, Conniption Fit. Thank you guys for all being on the top 10. Tuck Pup is number 2. And someone did a very pretty, what is this one? Channel Jammer, you did a Marfoogle News thing there. That is cool. You did a Marfoogle, you got the Marfoogle News that Denny designed as your logo. That is cool. You're representing. And then let's see. Thank you for being number 3. Australian Patriot, Serena, Deuce Volt 4th, Doc Willie. Hey, Marf and Dex. Awesome to catch you live. Thank you. Renegade PD, all of you guys. I'm going to say thank you to all of you here now. Let's see here. Wanted to make sure. All of these articles, Seattle police found van full of improvised explosions, spike strips, and stun guns at riot. You guys need to read this. They are popping stuff up. They are planning something bigger. And I think they got caught this time, but this is just part of it. So make sure to read this. This is something we actually were watching out to not cover. Conservative journalist stabbed in the back. These are all things you guys have to be aware of. And if you are a budding journalist, make sure to be safe out there. If you are if you're just starting your YouTube channel, be safe when you're going out there. I know that we had a couple people that wanted to call in and get a love mob that basically went out into this stuff. Be super freaking careful and don't scream out loud, you know, or at least if you're not experienced, don't scream out loud, I'm a conservative, this and that. You will get mobbed over. When I went down to Chaz, it was nuts. You say one thing, or even if you point it in the wrong direction, they come up and ask you like police. Just be careful, guys. Be safe. You can read all of the articles, see everything we have here. Again, I wanted to point out the 2 high school girls in India discovered this asteroid while they're just doing like an internship with their equipment. Look at what's going on. They're shutting down this stuff for a reason. They see stuff coming our way and they won't tell us. Why do you think every country is like, let's get to Mars, let's get to Mars? All the elites are joining Asgardia, this government in the sky. Maybe they'll park on the moon while all the devastation is down here. Maybe they've got technology where they can make, you know, these stupid, what do you call it? You know, condos, $2 million condos on the moon. They've already got it worked out. Who knows? Philosopher, thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription. Marvin 2004, all of you guys over on YouTube. If you are new here from Israeli News Live, the show should have been better this time. Hopefully it was. This is now time for the shoutro. It's not a shout out. It's not an outro. It's a shoutro. It's where we get goofy and we say thank you to all the people that matter. You. On the only live show somewhere.
Jumping on my lap. kids jumping on my lap.
White. And you ain't black. And you ain't black. I'm going to be Joe White. And you ain't black. And you ain't black. I'm
Jumping on my
going to
lap. If I learned about roaches, I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids, and I've loved kids, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
I'm going to be Joe White. I'm going to be Joe White.
I'm gonna beat some Joe Biden. I'm gonna beat some Joe Biden. Hey, Foogle fan, I just have asked Chris David Hilton about the future.
I'm going to be Joe White.
And the kids used to come up and reach in and pull and rub my leg down. And the kids used to come up and reach in and pull and rub my leg down. If I learned about roaches, I learned about kids jumping on my lap. If I learned about roaches, I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Renegade Peter did big yo on Jenny and have the row. Gotta all for him, gotta go love, gotta bring it down and from above. The two high school girls in India going and looking up, now they seeing ya. That asteroid gonna hit it in a million, ya. Gonna bring down like you do, baby, ya ha, baby, da ha, baby, ya ha, baby, ya ha. Major diarrhea, Arizona 11/11. KCH8 at 13. Thanks for subscribing and following me. Bringing on down in the love the way. Going back round and you love the way. Gotta be back and you love the way. Oh, 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 oh. Let's see what's going on. Seeing a crescendo. I'm not where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Dragon flow, gale storm, Jafar on 2 and rail the horn. I'm gonna go back and rail the horn. It's the end of the world and the door ain't knows. I'm gonna bring back with the Amy shirt. I'm gonna get and take my shirt, give it to the next guy that needs it, cause it's all the way them down. Gonna weigh them down and you see the way they see it now. You've gotta bring the veronico, paleo. Thrones looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Tower Bear, thank you for being number 1. Tuck Pup, thank you for being number 2. A special shout-out to Jen Lay Awake. Baldilocks Awake, thank you for being the coolest couple on the Cola Wola. I don't know, I couldn't come up with something that rhymed. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Scrabulicious, also delicious. Foogle fan, being up a man. I got a head injury a few days ago, and my freestyle skills are no. They're just no. Window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. I've got to check a while. I've got to bring it back, and I'm bringing it raw with Dedicate Future and the Bless. I'm bringing up like yo, oh yes. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going It's crap. Let's just go home. Jeez. Thank you, Lady GT476. Lady GT476. Thank you. That's an honorable mention there. Thank you for being on the top boards like all the time. Here, there, Tuck Puppers. Gonna bring it down. And then Watch Wolf, Channel Jammer. Thanks for representing everywhere you go with that beautiful logo of yours. And then, of course, you've got there the Conniption Fit, the Kihajin Fly Girl, the Foogle fans, the Memory Triggers, and the Thomas the fans. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, outro.
Mascot, be a bad mascot, take the mask off. We'll be on the pandemic. We'll be on.
Remix. Got my night hoe, try her sky, going easy peasy energy, body Eli. I gotta have the names on, then I got the wrong song, and I gotta get the wrong song. I swear that I had injury, got me bammer like that Channel Jammer. I'm gonna go back, now I'm gonna go back, now I go snatch that girl by that name is like, and the chicken wild lucky ticket to B, and everybody already knew.
Mascot, take the mask off.
I'm gonna do by Felicia, Jaw Farm 2, Earthworm and No. Gonna bring it back now with the Barb 77. What in the world there? It like did it by itself, I swear to ya. Jaw Farm 2, gonna bring it to ya. Duck a hawk, lazy peasy, and the neighbor's block to ya. Gonna do it just like I see that cheddar. Gonna bring it back down, oh no better. I'm gonna see ya. I'm gonna do it just like that. Thank you, Jeff Farm, but you don't got to do that. Someday we'll get there. I got a nameless like Renegade PD, and they are getting us here, they swear. Gonna do it down and they don't pull your chair, cause ain't no punk ass being on. I'm gonna go back now and say on. Ain't gonna bring back the dead, but it's gonna go with the drop dead Fred, gonna see it. Take the game again, the EMP, get the EMP Shield, Marfoogle.com, EMP link in the description with the dive one out in the Amy shirt now. And if you wanna go, so for $100, thanks for getting down there. Gonna bring a ball in the Chicago artist and the melody. Gonna bring it down like we always fly. Chance Paladin and Scrappy Licious. Gonna bring it back round and I'll wash the dishes. Gonna bring it back down and you know it, old coming. Listen, busy. Listen, busy. Listen, busy. KCH3 gonna bring back with me. Got go back T4B. Only O with the W and everybody got to go and see Paul shake it. Paul shake it. Bring it back. Lucky ticket 2, lucky ticket 3. Gonna go back round, take a look at ticket 3. I'm going back with that MC Mark. Gonna go back round, no cause, no harm. I'm about to do it and I'm up your arm. Have a good night, guys. Hustling down the rerun, gonna go beat, son. I'm gonna go back round, no reason. I just need a Marfoogle family member on there. Gonna go host them. Gonna bring it back round, now you toast them. Gonna do it, everybody do it. I'm about to go back around, everybody do it. I'm about to do, I'm about to do. I'm about to say it just like you know. I'm about to go back round, do it every day. If I host somebody, just know it's random on the dombo. But I did make a mistake the other day, and I'm gonna host somebody that they keep doing it. They've been treated rudely, so we're gonna treat them with positivity. And yes, that means originality is extinct. And have a good night, guys. Please have a nice sit there. If there's something on that you don't like, just make sure to turn it off.